Okay, thank you so much. So, because I did finish my degree this year, I have been busy for like half the year on Tuesdays, driving back and forth to Athens. Yeah, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. So I'm sorry, but from now on, I will make more of an appearance. So I am a bit nervous, and so usually what I like to do is just take a deep breath to center myself. So if you all feel like doing it with me, you can. It's just really just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Thank you so much. So before I get into it, I want to let everyone know that I will be talking about some of my war experiences, and sometimes it can be a bit tough to listen to. So don't be afraid to step outside if you need to. And if you would like to talk to someone about your feelings towards the end, Adam here is here for you to listen to. Yeah. Sorry about that. So so just don't be afraid. Like I said, it'll be some strong imagery and topics that I'm going to speak about tonight. But before that, again, I would like to thank Storytellers Macon for having me tonight. And I would also like to thank all of you for coming and sharing your time and energy with me tonight. So thank you. So, I'm Erika Renee Land, author, poet, McDowell Fellow, DeMille Art Fund recipient, 21st Century War Poet, and I am a U.S. Army War veteran. And you're welcome. And because I'm a war veteran, people often like to ask me what I think about the current wars going on. And I always tell them the same thing. I stand for peace and tranquility, because I have been in the trenches of war, and I understand the aftermath that can follow. See, I joined the military right after high school so that I could get college paid for. War was the last thing on my mind. It wasn't real to me. It wasn't like tangible. Like, I read about it in history books and I know that it was a real thing, but I had never experienced or known anyone who had gone to war. So it just wasn't on the top of my mind. But what I found out is that when you sign up to play soldier, sometimes you actually have to be a soldier. And 2 months after my 22nd birthday, I found myself in Mosul, Iraq. It was pitch black outside when we landed. It was so dark that when we were getting off of the plane, our drill sergeants told us to hold the person's backpack that was in front of us. And so we were running and exiting that plane, and we couldn't see anything except for these little red dots that were on the ground leading the path to our barracks. And so we came off that plane, and we were running, listening to the drill sergeants, guiding the way, chanting. We were chanting back with them in whispers so that we could get there. And I remember having the most intense fear that I had ever felt in my life. I was in a war zone and I wasn't prepared to be there. The Army prepares you mentally a little bit and physically, but emotionally I was not prepared to be there. And so by the time we got to our barracks, I was emotionally distraught, but I couldn't show it to anybody. My roommate was the same way, but she couldn't show it to anybody. And so we put our bags down and tried to get some sleep. And the next morning we woke up inside of these beige tin boxes. They were just shipping containers that they outfitted with an air conditioner, 2 beds, 2 side tables, and we shared a locker in the middle. And I was sitting there trying to figure out if I was going to hang a curtain to get some privacy in this room, unpacking my bags, and then I felt the ground shake beneath my feet. And then all of a sudden I heard, incoming, 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 take shelter, incoming, incoming, incoming. We were being bombed. And I panicked. But I had to, on the inside, but I had to keep it together. So I grabbed my backpack and I grabbed my rifle and I grabbed my Kevlar helmet and I ran out the door into a bunker. And these bunkers are just concrete squares with about walls that are 2 feet thick. And I crawled into it with my fellow soldiers and we were shoulder to shoulder, hunkered down, hoping that we weren't about to die. We took stock of each other to see if anyone was hurt as we sat there trying to squeeze into our gear as we sat shoulder to shoulder. It wasn't something that we were prepared for. We were medical personnel. Our job was to help people. They always say medical personnel is not like in the real army where we're taught to fight and to get through it, and we know what it's like to live with the bare minimum. Medical personnel is not like that. And so we were sitting there asking each other, were we okay? And then we heard a drill sergeant's voice come and say, medical, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And we all peeled out of that bunker and started running towards the hospital. And as we're running towards the hospital, it's just more bombs falling. The ground is shaking. We're hearing people scream. We're just trying to make it into that hospital. And when we got to the hospital, the injured people started coming. We saw men, women, children. We saw people with the insides, their insides on the outside. We saw missing limbs. I encountered people who were no longer breathing. And so when people ask me, what do I think about the war? I always say, I stand for peace and tranquility. Thank you.